Okay, so making a circle. There are technically two ways I'm going to show you to make a circle. One's going to be with the slip knot. So if you make your slip knot, this is how I make a circle a lot because this is the way I was taught and it just is easier for me. But you're going to chain 4 to 6 depending on how big you want your circle and depending on if you want an opening or not. I like to do 5. It's an even number. Sometimes I like to do 4. I'm not really bothered by the opening being big on most projects, but if you don't want an opening, I'll show you another way to make a circle that makes that go away. So there's my 5 chains, and I've slip stitched into the beginning chain to make a circle. So there's my circle. There is the V's all in a row, just like they would be on a straight line for me to work in. To get up to a row I can work in, I usually chain 2. If I'm going to do double crochet, chain 1 if you're going to do single crochet. Then you just literally double crochet around into your V's, just like you would on your normal chain going into the top of that V. You're going to put 2 in every stitch though on this because you are working in a circle and you have to increase your stitches to make the circle lay flat. So on the first row, when you're going around, I always put 2 in every one of my chains. That keeps the circle growing and keeps it flat. You see my tail trying to get in the way there? And keeps it flat as you go around your chain. This is the last V. Now there's my circle with all my double crochets. I'm going to put 1 more in this last V. And then to join my row in the top of that chain that I started with, sorry that's getting a little fuzzy, I'm going to slip stitch. There's my first row. All the way around in a circle, the center of my circle. Again, to go to the next row of the circle, you just chain 2 for double crochet, go in your first V. Again, on this row, you're still pretty small, so 2 in every chain's probably a good increase. So every V, I'm going to put 2 double crochets real quick as we go around. You can single crochet, treble crochet, whatever you're doing. If you're doing a hat, starting out on a hat, if you're doing a round pot holder, doesn't really matter what stitch you're using. Just make sure you can see your V's as you're going around and that you're increasing. So that's, again, I'll stop and show you. There's my V's going around the circle, just like as if it was a flat chain. Here's my double crochets showing up just like they do. I'm doing 2 in every one on an increase as we go around. And that is so that it lays flat. This is more like what would be a round pot holder, not a stocking cap. If you're doing a stocking cap, majority of patterns will tell you to increase every other stitch. If you are curious how to increase, there is a video on it, but really you're just putting 2 stitches in a V and increasing by 1. It'll tell you in your pattern, it'll say single crochet and then it'll say increase by 1, or it'll say increase by 2, or however many it wants you to put into that V in the pattern that you're making. If you're freehanding like I do with no pattern, you're just making it up as you go, you just kind of have to test it out. You may want increases in certain places and not in other places. So always just kind of test it out, see if it lays flat. If it doesn't lay flat, you can increase more. If it does lay flat or it's starting to curl, you can decrease. But good reference is just to put 2 in every one and it will lay flat for you just like that. And there's your circle. That's just a double crochet circle made from the slip knot. So what does that look like if it's not made from the slip knot? I'm going to keep this on here and we'll use that for something later. Let me grab a new ball of yarn. A way to make a ring on a stocking cap without using a slip knot stitch is to make it with the magic ring. So the magic ring is just like the slip knot, but we're not going to actually make a knot. We're just going to pull the thread through like So, and then hold on to it. So there's our ring. We put our thread behind us. We chain 2 to get started, and we just start making double crochets into the ring. Now this, you're just going to make as many double crochets as you want your stocking cap to have. Again, this is your magic ring, so you can pull this tighter or looser to give you more stability, more tension. But after you get however many double crochets you want in your magic ring, I'm going to do 5 again, just like I did on the slipknot circle. We put 5 double crochets in here, and there they are all laid out. Then we pull our magic ring tail all the way around and tighten it. You can slip stitch again back into your starting chain, just like you did on the other one. And there is the same circle with the same V's all in a row, only made with the magic ring, so there's no opening here. And like I said, this is good for stocking caps because this is going to be the start of your hat. So on a stocking cap, usually the way those patterns will start is you increase every other one. On the first row, you're still going to increase 2 in every one. So every stitch is going to get 2 stitches. But when you get to that next row, they're usually going to have you do an increase and then a regular stitch, and then an increase and then a regular stitch. So you're going to do your double crochets just like normal, 2 in every one, increasing around the first row. And I'll show you that real quick while I've got it here to show you kind of the difference between the pot holder, the flat pot holder of increasing, and the stocking cap increase. So this first row after my circle was 2 in every one. Then I'm just going to slip stitch again into the very first of my row. So there is my circle, just like we had on the flat one. The difference with hats though is you're going to chain and start your next row, but you're going to do every other one as an increase. So I'm going to double crochet, and then this stitch is going to be my increase. So I'll put 2 in this one. Then I go and I double crochet in the next stitch, and then that next stitch is an increase. So I'll double crochet twice in it. Double crochet in the next stitch by itself. Oops, sorry, slipped there. Kind of rocked the camera there too on you guys, sorry about that. 2 in this stitch for the increase. 1, then 2, 1, and then 2. And you'll see, unlike the other one where we increased every single time, this is starting to curl. Do you see that? It's making a cone, like a cup. So let's go ahead and finish out the row. There's my increase stitch. So I double crochet into this side, and then an increase, so 2 in this V, and then a double crochet in this one, and then a double back in the one I started in. That's going to make it an increase stitch, and then slip stitch back into the top of my chain that started my row. And you'll see that that's the beginning of a hat. It's going to be a stocking cap. It's going to curve. See, it makes a bowl. So this one had an increase on every other stitch. This one increased every stitch. So this one, as you continue to increase every stitch, is going to lay flat. This one, increasing every other stitch, is going to curl like the top of a stocking cap. So it makes a cone shape. This is also like a teddy bear leg. If you're making the leg of a teddy bear, it would be the foot part. So there's the difference in an increase on every stitch and an increase on every other stitch. This is typically stocking caps and stuffed animals. This is typically like circle blankets, rugs, pot holders. So that's the circle. That's the increase. This circle was made with a slip knot, chain 4 or 5, double crochet in every one, and then chain up to your next row. This circle was made with the magic ring, chain 2, 5 double crochets, pull your magic ring taunt, and then slip stitch into your beginning stitch. So either one makes the same circle. Either one can be used for the same project. They're both circles, slip knot circle, magic ring circle. Flat, you're going to increase every stitch as you start out. Cone shape, you're going to increase typically every other stitch until you get as far wide out as your hat or your stuffed animal leg or whatever you're making is going to be. So watch this video many times as you need. I hope it helps. I hope it teaches you how to make a circle either way, and whichever way you're comfortable is fine. Like I said, they look the same. So there's the centers. It's not different from either one, just whichever's comfortable for you. And also in continuing on with the increasing, this teaches you how to increase to get it to lay however you want it to lay. Again, any questions or any comments, go ahead and message me or comment below on the video. But happy crocheting, and I'll see you the next time.